They've got the Lance as well, though, so this is going to be the first core Lance we see at Worlds.
That's a really interesting point, Son. The first core Lance we're actually...
Match, Team SoloMid versus Infamous Legion. I can't even wait to see this action.
Everyone's level 1 right now, so it's going to be hard for them to do too much with the cooldowns they have. We've got rotations starting to happen. You can see actually Bestchuck and A tailing behind Spaghetti. That could be the advantage that Infamous Legion need. They're trying to find an opening. Quater Boys hasn't taken damage in so long. Vainglory, he can't get out of there. That's the first kill to Infamous Legion. Flash X eats the Impale. Bestchuck doesn't have enough energy to keep going for more of these glimmer shots. Spaghetti, he's doing such good damage right now. They do find one return kill. Can Flash X get Quater Boys make this a bit more even? It's not going to happen. Infamous Legion take 3 kills to 1 at 1.5 minutes into the game.
Unbelievable here. I mean, we talked about like the juggling of damage yesterday. This is beautiful to watch. Infamous Legion getting in there. And Team SoloMid thought that they could win this trade, bringing that Kestrel down, but it just wasn't enough. I guess Bestchuck not getting there quite in time, but both of these teams obviously looking to just throw blows early here.
Absolutely, and I gotta give some commendations to Quater Boys there. He juggled vision through that shot bush quite a lot. It stopped Vainglory from being able to stick on him, and I think that was a big part as to why Infamous Legion had enough time to bring down Spaghetti. Vainglory wants more right now, though, even with how that earlier fight went. He's trying to steal away some camps with Flash X, but here comes Spaghetti. Vainglory is very low already. I don't know if he's got enough damage to keep the pressure on. He goes down. We've seen the rotation out of Bestchuck, but it's too little, too late. Flash X gets inwalled against that pit. It could be a kill again going over to Infamous Legion. They find 2 for 0. Team SoloMid is falling apart right now, Humanist.
But the thing is, this is all their choice. Infamous Legion just reacted to what Team SoloMid did. It was the proper reaction, but TSM have to quickly rethink this whole strategy because it is not working for them.
It does. I also think Quater Boys has to rethink maybe going so aggressive on such low health. Vainglory does find the camp. That's definitely going to be easy chase down onto Def Q or Quater. He's got Pouncy Fun coming up pretty soon. 1 more second. He's going to be picking up Def Q. That's the priority target. Vainglory does clean up a little bit of gold for Team SoloMid.
Yeah, that was a bold move for them to go over. If they get that mid, they'll be able to snowball on that aggression, but the fact that Vainglory was able to take that treant, hit the regen, he could just go ahead and apply pressure. And if Catherine even tried to stay around a bit longer, that would have been a double kill going the way of Vainglory. Vainglory able to get the backs, can't get the mid. Quater Boys gets it.
That's huge. Quater Boys is going to get the heal as a result. He was very low from even just the earlier trade. Now Vainglory needs to get out of here, and Spaghetti just picked up an item to make that a little bit more difficult. Thankfully, Flash X is going to be backing up Vainglory a little bit. Quater Boys just stacking his perk there. So we've seen a very explosive beginning to this game, Humanists. Again, discussing the compositions, is this what Team SoloMid maybe should have anticipated? Should they have anticipated they can't fight the same way they would like to?
I don't think it's really that they can't fight. It's just whoever actually makes that mechanical outplay. They're very, very even when you look in these trades. And what's kind of scary is having this Catherine, it feels like she shouldn't be as strong as the Arden early on in these engagements, having the Koshka backed up by this Arden, but it's working incredibly well for them. Infamous Legion, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but they were one of these teams that we're talking about stacking up that passive on Catherine and saying that it is incredibly strong, and you have to just throw stuns sometimes to stack it up.
You absolutely do. You can see Team SoloMid trying to make something happen here. Spaghetti has taken a bit of damage right off the bat. He's trying to kite backwards. He's going to have another heal fairly soon, but Vainglory can't jump on top of him to clean up that one. That's going to be the treant taken down. I'm not sure quite who's gotten that. Bestchuck's got a kite. Quater Boys right now, though. Vainglory looking to clean up this kill. They just need the Pouncy Fun. They find the kill. That's the movement speed boost. Vainglory wants more. He's looking for Spaghetti with the heal just at the last second. Does get him out of there. Def Q should be able to run away. Vainglory just jumping in for a little love tap there. But Team SoloMid, they found their footing a little bit here.
Yeah, they played that really nicely. Once again, Vainglory able to get the mid. He's going to get that regen, and that's the snowball ability. Once you get that, you just keep going, keep that aggression up. And also, you got to give credit to Flash. A very nicely timed Vanguard onto Bestchuck, able to keep him alive through that fight.
Absolutely. So let's return to the Catherine point, because I'm actually surprised that Team SoloMid let that one go through. This is something Infamous Legion played to great effect on day one. It's something they've talked a lot about, and they play it stylistically quite differently than other regions. Oh, Bestchuck, that's not good. He gets impaled even during the active kill, but he finds the stun. Is going to be able to get out of there. that was a little bit dicey. Team SoloMid do need to be careful about these rotations into the lane. Vainglory wants to go for Spaghetti, though. Yummy Cat and Frenzy on the back line.
Oh, that's Yummy.
Locks down Vainglory, but it's not going to be quick enough. Quaterboy's trying to find more. That's the active camo stun. It's a turnaround from Best Chuck. 2 quick kills from Team SoloMid. They're even Stevens with 5 kills apiece.
I mean, this is literally why Arden is my favorite roam. It is offensive, it is defensive, it'll enable you to dive, enable you to get your Kestrel into a better position. Absolutely flawless play right there.
Oh man, this game is already starting to deliver. I was hoping it was going to be a good one. I knew it was going to be a good one. Infamous Legion, they want to do something here. That was very close to an active camo stun. Best Chuck, he is on fire right now, 4 for 1.
Best Chuck, he has 4 kills right now. That's absolutely insane. Look, I mean, we have 10 kills on the board 6 minutes into this one. Do you think it's going to slow down at all?
I don't think it's going to slow down. I mean, you got Koshka in this match. That's something which wants to really keep the tempo pushed. Also, on the flip side of things, the core Lance, people talk a lot about how he's very potent earlier on. Does kind of fall off, at least in terms of damage later. So I just don't say things slowing down too much. Right now, Vainglory's actually picked up an Aftershock, which is a very different build from the Shadowglass yesterday.
Well, he's going against a pretty tanky Lance there. I think it could work pretty well for him.
Very good point. Best Chuck, look at the siege he's laying down. Quaterboys, we got to talk about this build. We keep trying to get to it, but there's just too much action to. Catherine's, you know, a lot of the time in North America, for example, they're just going to build hyper tanky. Infamous Legion, that's not the way they like to do it.
Yeah, well, I mean, he wants to be mobile. He wants to just get some health up and allow his team to get through this fight. You don't need to build the armor, you need to build health. And as long as you get in there with a nicely timed...
Whoa! Gauntlet perhaps! Flash X jumping in from the flank. Vainglory, he's going to try and get down Quaterboys right now. Does have that Yummy Catnip Frenzy.
Rest in peace.
Kill. Yeah, there's no way out of that one. Quaterboys not even close to tanky enough to deal with that yet. Flash X taking a little bit of poke, but he should be fine.
You know, strategically, Jackson, one of the things that I think Infamous really have going for them, you look later on into the game, that impale is going to land, nothing to follow. But you're going to have this Blast Chamber, you're going to have the First Judgment, and at some point, you're going to have Flash making a really tough decision. Which of these abilities do I Crucible?
Oh, absolutely, and to a certain extent, this is going to rely on the individual members that he's trying to Crucible, having their own reflex blocks to, you know, maybe go for one of them. So long as the communication is there, it should be fine. Quatervoice, again, talking about this Catherine, though, I am interested to see where he goes. 'Cause, see, he's already picked up, you know, some items you might not expect with the contract, with that regeneration as well. I know that he likes to be less tanky, so he reflects more damage, and he likes to go for more cooldown acceleration so that he can do that more frequently, especially against, you know, for example, this Kestrel. So we'll see which direction he goes into. It has meant that his fountain is a little bit late, though.
Yeah, as long as his team is aware of this, and you know, at this level, on this stage right now, they are communicating. This is one of the team that communicates, I think, better than almost anyone.
That's just going to be a burst to clear the wave. I think that's actually quite smart here, given the fact that Flash did, at least a second ago, have some minion candies. Definitely going to take some poke as well.
And also knowing that Vainglory's ult is off cooldown, there's a very good chance that they could dive right under turret and just delete a target. So I think it was really smart. I like the burst coming out of Spaghetti, and it's just one of those plays. You don't see it all the time, but it comes through, it makes sense.
Oh, deft Q. He is going to get over the wall, forcing Vainglory to follow with the Yummy Catnip Frenzy, but it doesn't even matter. Vainglory has the damage right now, and his, you know, Infamous Legion, they can't help out.
Vainglory around the backside?
They're taking so much damage in the lane. Vainglory wants more yet again. Gauntlet comes down.
Is he going to get more?
Stunned. Spaghetti cannot leave the arena right now. Best Chuck to pick up the kill. It's an ace to Team SoloMid. 9 kills at 9 minutes.
Team SoloMid just turning it up right there, and exactly what we were just talking about. You saw why that burst came out to kill that huge minion wave, because they dove it anyway.
And also, Quaterboys, he picked up a fountain when he headed back to the Sanctuary right there. He didn't have it for the fight because he's decided, okay, I want to get maybe some cooldown acceleration and regeneration earlier. That is not going to work against Team SoloMid's composition. They want to fight you early.
Yeah, they want to fight. Well, he's got an Hourglass now. He's going to be moving forward. Fountain is available, so this will stall out. Maybe a little bit of aggression coming out of TSM. Also, Best Chuck's boots are not going to be available if they get into a skirmish here, but he did pick up that breaking point.
Indeed he did, and he's already got a Sorrow Blade on top of that, so much damage coming out of this Kestrel. We've seen just how ridiculous it can become with those Glimmer shots, with the basic attacks. Is he going to be able to keep the siege pressure down? It's hard for Infamous Legion to quickly clear waves. Adagio has to use Verse to actually have that AoE effect on the wave. It's going to be quite challenging. Vainglory looking to get some pressure onto the turret. Quatervoice also taking a lot of poke here. One shot, one kill. Going to connect with Deft Q, but Team SoloMid playing it smart. They're backing away for now with the poke that they already got.
Yeah, in and out. You have Kestrel poking from range. You have Vainglory abusing this move speed. Right now, they're doing exactly what they need to do. The worst thing they could do is overstep, get within that turret range, and be stunned up, and I hope we don't see that happen with this Kestrel here.
Yeah, I mean, Bestchuck does have to be careful. He's actually becoming quite low on energy right now, and as soon as he let those adrenaline stacks fall off, that was a time to back away. See, Quaterboys can't even move into his own jungle right now. Team SoloMid is very much adapting like they said they were going to do on Twitter, and like we've seen from some of their games, adapting to this East Asian meta. They're not really allowing Infamous any space here.
No, they're not. And Infamous, though, I think they're doing a pretty good job. They feel that pressure, they've backed off, and even though they did misplay after we saw that first clearing out in the lane and they did get caught with the gauntlet, it felt like they knew what was happening. It was just a slight misplay. So as long as they can kind of tune in that mechanical ability moving into the next couple engagements, I think they'll be just fine.
All right, we got minion candies on both sides. You know that Team SoloMid, with this advantage, with the adaptations they've made to their play recently, are going to want to find a kill and then probably push a turret. So I like the fact that Quatervoice is countering Flash's minion candies with his own. It has a knock-on effect of actually being very slot ineffective. Like, it takes up a space in your inventory. So that does mean that Quatervoice has, you know, some money right now, but he can't throw it into, like, a little bit of health. You know, he has to wait until he can upgrade it.
Yeah, I think he's doing pretty good right now. He gets the flare gun. That's going to give him some nice HP right there. And I think building into the contraption is going to be really cool for them. The element of surprise is actually so huge for TSM. And having a flare gun means you're always going to have vision, and that's so important when you're dealing with this Kestrel.
Here comes the verse again. I mean, it's a rough situation when you got to use that to clear 2 consecutive waves. Look at Spaghetti isn't in that exact situation. Bestchuck is going to be able to clear their side quite quickly, too, and keep this push going.
Yeah, I was sitting here thinking about items, Jackson. I think War Treads is going to be a really big deal for Infamous Legion. If they can get a nice War Treads coming out, maybe we'll see if he completes it before Contraption or not. But it's going to be a really big deal getting out onto the map, onto one of these targets, and just deleting them out.
All right, another big item completed for Spaghetti. He's actually got a broken myth now and some candies of his own, but here comes the gauntlet. Flash X wants to pick a fight. Vonsi backing him up, diving onto the back line. Quatervoice does take a lot of damage. Team SoloMid, they're going to be happy with that, trading the ultimate just for some good chunk damage. Vonsi, he's going to get taken down, though. The turret doing some serious work. Chuck, he doesn't have the energy for an active camo. He's doing some good damage. The fountain popped very late from Flash. Couldn't save Vonsi, but is keeping Bestchuck in this. Can he get damage down? He finds the stun. He picks up the kill. Flash X wants a little bit more. Spaghetti on the run. He should. Oh, the
we got it!
comes through. Vonsi, Bestchuck and Flash X are doing such good work against Infamous Legion right now.
One shot, one kill coming out right there. Beautifully done. I mean, you see through that engagement, it's all about Bestchuck versus Spaghetti. Who's going to get more damage out here? This gauntlet down, I thought it was a little bit questionable. Maybe not the right target they wanted. But you see, it almost baits Infamous Legion into thinking they could take this fight here. So once they turn this around, Vonsi taking a lot of damage with that impale. DefQ able to get the kill, moves on to Bestchuck. If they were able to take this Kestrel down, the fight absolutely goes their way. But a beautiful job, and once again, Flash with the perfectly timed Vanguard to keep this Kestrel alive, activate that camo, smash him in the face, and one shot, one kill for the triple kill.
It was absolutely beautiful stuff from Team SoloMid right there. I think we got to bring up another stylistic difference between these teams real quick, because one thing Infamous Legion talked about, for example, in their video yesterday, is that they really like to build glass cannon on their carries, because they feel like positioning equals defense. Now, against Koshka, who's just going to jump on your back line and not really allow you to position anyway at all, I'm a bit concerned that maybe that's not the right choice. Spaghetti, look at his items, right? He's got a reflect block. That's it for defense. So he's got to be so careful.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I think there's strengths and weaknesses to that whole idea of the glass cannon build. It almost baits Vonsi into that mindset, though, of thinking I can jump in and take this target out. And that's the whole idea of having that verse, having that impale, having that Githian wall, once someone has overextended and punishing them for it.
I mean, I think at this point, though, it's pretty much almost only the Githian wall, right? Because the verse is just being used as a minion clearance tool.
Well, at the moment, yes, but I think as time goes on, we'll see that used, and preferably, I think that's how it should be used.
I would agree with that for sure. Let's take stock of the game, though. Twice the kills on Team SoloMid. They're 12-6. They've got a very good gold lead, almost 10,000 now, sitting at around 9. Infamous Legion forced all the way back into their base. Let's not forget that they have the capability to come back from these situations. So yesterday, against Snow Avalanche, they did just that.
Oh yeah, I mean, this is the beauty of Vainglory. You can be ahead, but if you make mistakes getting into the late game, if you have a significant net worth lead, that is just bounty waiting to go to the other team. So while you might have advantage, you can't get sloppy for 1 second. I think Team SoloMid know that very well. Kraken on the map, they're going to be able to take this down here. I don't know if Infamous are going to get over here in time.
Do they need to try and maybe counter this Kraken by actually going for the steal, or should they just defend here? I feel like either one is risky. Look at this, Team SoloMid, they know what they want to do, just diving on the Quater Boys. I guess you can't contest the Kraken, Humanist.
Well, I think you can contest the Kraken, but a little bit of a misplay there. Infamous Legion making the call to send Catherine in, the rest of the team not going. That's a big problem to have her go down there. Boots were not activated, Fountain was not used. I mean, I think it's not the ideal situation to be using the Fountain right there, but maybe it buys you a little bit of time. It's a tough call.
Personally, I would have just liked to see some more cohesion. I think if they had gone together or if they'd stayed back together, their chances were much increased to do something. Maybe the thinking is that Quater Voice is actually not worth that much money right now, so if he goes in and dies without using his Fountain, his respawn timer is quick enough.
It's kind of like a squirrel running in front of a car, and they don't realize, do they need to keep going or run back the other way? He just needed to commit on that.
All right, well, the Kraken's pushing into base, committing to that Vein Crystal right now for Team SoloMid. They do have a lot of damage here, a lot of poke with Best Chuck on that Kestrel. Are they going to be able to go for this one? That's the Gauntlet. They're making the call to try and end things right here, right now. Look at the damage from those shots. One shot, going to connect to Spaghetti, takes him to half immediately. I think, Humanist, this might just be all over right now. Kraken still fairly healthy. The Fountain popped. Fonzie does go down, but Best Chuck is doing so much damage just to the members of the Infamous Legion. Spaghetti can't kite backwards. Death Q gets crit. That's a 700 GG shot. It's going to be GG. Team